Do you know the number one thing that surprises engaged couples? Take a guess. The sheer amount of decisions they have to make while planning a wedding. Indoors or outdoors? How many guests? Are kids invited? Controversial. Which cake flavor? Seriously, how do you even begin to figure out what's right for you? That's where Zola comes in. Zola has everything you need to make every wedding decision a piece of cake, from choosing your dream wedding venue and vendors to deciding how to best spend your budget. With tons of customizable wedding websites, save the dates and invites, every detail will feel like you. Zola will even help you choose the gifts, experiences, and cash funds you really want. The next thing you know, you've planned your whole wedding all in one place. From getting engaged to getting married, Zola has everything you need to plan your wedding in one place. Start planning at Zola.com. That's Zola.com.
Today, we're unpacking something that a lot of people experience but don't always talk about openly. Depression. That's a term we hear often, but understanding what it actually means can make all the difference in recognizing it, whether it's happening to you or someone you care about. So if you're interested to find out more, stay with me. I'll be right back. When it comes to making changes in your life, you're the expert. You are in the driver's seat. Everything else is just a guide. Welcome to Injoyness Podcast, your guide to wellness, recovery, and change. I'm your host, Dela Fotoohi, and thank you for joining me on this episode. Let's start with a common misconception. Feeling sad is not the same as having depression. We all go through moments of feeling down, frustrated, or overwhelmed. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's natural to have days where you just don't feel like yourself. But depression is more than that. It's like living with a heavy, invisible burden that impacts your energy, your mood, and your ability to function day to day. Imagine waking up each morning feeling like you're already exhausted, even if you've slept all night. Simple things like getting out of bed, brushing your teeth, replying to a text feel like monumental tasks. It's not just tiredness. It's this deep, bone-weary fatigue that doesn't seem to go away, no matter how much you rest. And alongside that, you might notice changes in your sleep too, either struggling to sleep at all or wanting to sleep all the time, but never really feeling rested. And it's not just about physical energy. Depression has a way of sapping the joy out of things you once loved. Maybe you used to love hanging out with friends or pursuing hobbies or even just watching your favorite shows. But now, none of that really sparks anything in you anymore. Things start to feel flat, like life is happening in grayscale instead of color. This loss of interest or pleasure is actually one of the hallmark signs for depression. But depression isn't just about feeling down or uninterested. It can also show up as irritability or frustration. You might find yourself snapping at people more easily or feeling like you're constantly on edge. That's because depression isn't just about sadness. It's a mix of emotions that can range from feeling hopeless and empty to restless and agitated. On top of this, depression has a way of messing with your thoughts. You might catch yourself stuck in a loop of negative thinking, where your mind keeps feeding you harsh, critical messages like, I'm not good enough, I'm a burden, or what's the point? These thoughts can feel really convincing, and when they pile up, they start to shape how you see yourself and the world around you. It's important to know that these thoughts are part of the illness. They're not facts, even if they feel true. Depression distorts our thinking in a way that makes it hard to see beyond the negativity. That's why just telling someone to snap out of it or think positive is not helpful. If it were that simple, no one would struggle with depression. Let's talk a bit about where depression comes from, because it's not as straightforward as some people think. Depression isn't just caused by one thing. It can be a combination of factors. There's the biological side of it, like genetics and brain chemistry. If depression runs in your family, you might be more prone to experiencing it yourself. There's also the psychological side, how we process stress, cope with challenges, and the patterns of thinking we've developed over time. Then there's the environmental and the situational side of things. Big life changes, trauma, chronic stress, or even just the day-to-day pressures of work, relationships, or finances can be triggers. Sometimes it's a buildup of many small stressors over time, and other times it can be one big event that throws you off balance. So if you're dealing with depression, know that it's not your fault. It's not a sign that you're weak or you're doing something wrong. It's a condition just like any other health issue, and it's okay to ask for help. The good news is that depression is treatable. There's a range of options, and what works best can vary from person to person. Therapy is one of the main ways to manage depression. It gives you a space to talk through what's going on, learn new coping skills, and challenge those negative thought patterns. For some people, medication is also helpful. It can rebalance the brain chemicals that play a role in mood regulation. Lifestyle changes can make a huge difference too. Regular exercise, sleep, nutrition, and even mindfulness practices. They've all been shown to help manage symptoms. Recovery from depression isn't always a straight line. There might be ups and downs, good days and bad days, but the key is to stay connected and not isolate yourself. Depression often convinces you that you're alone in this, but that's far from the truth. Reaching out, whether it's to a friend, a family member, a therapist, or a support group, can be a lifeline. One powerful tool for calming your mind and body when things feel intense is something called box breathing. It's really simple, but it can make a big difference when you're feeling stressed, anxious, or even just stuck in your head. Here's how it works. Imagine drawing a box with your breath. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Picture drawing the first side of the box as you breathe in. Hold your breath for a count of 4. As you hold, imagine drawing the top of the box. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 4, drawing the third side of the box as you breathe out. Hold your breath again for a count of 4, completing the box with the final side. Now you try. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. You can repeat this cycle for a few rounds till you feel more grounded. The steady rhythm of breathing in, holding, exhaling, and holding again helps slow down your heart rate and quiet your mind. It's especially helpful when you're feeling overwhelmed, whether that's anxiety, stress, or just needing a moment to reset. The great thing about box breathing is that you can do it anywhere. sitting at your desk, lying in bed, or even in the middle of a busy day. It's like giving yourself a mental and emotional pause button whenever you need it. As we wrap up, I want to remind you that depression is more common than you might think. It's something that many people experience, and it doesn't define who you are. If you're struggling right now, please know that there's hope, and there are people ready to support you. You don't have to navigate this alone. Thanks for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you or brought up any questions, feel free to reach out. Let's keep these conversations going because mental health matters, and so do you. If you found this episode helpful, please leave a comment and share with someone that might benefit from listening to it. Until next time, stay well. Thank you for listening to this episode of Injoyness Podcast, a guide in your journey to wellness, recovery, and change. In gratitude and love, I'm your host, Dela.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Over the past 75 years, more than 10,000 chemicals have entered our food supply, but the EU allows just 300 additives. At Thrive Market, we prioritize quality, banning over 1,000 ingredients found in conventional grocery stores. Our Healthy Swap scanner helps you find better versions of your pantry essentials without the junk, dyes, or fillers, and everything is delivered right to your doorstep. So shop at a grocery store that actually cares about your health at thrivemarket.com/get started for 30% off your first order and a free $60 gift.